Welcome back, traders. Continuing my 2024 backtesting series, we're nearly at the end. We just finished the month of November, so this time I will be backtesting the first week of December, December 2nd through the 6th. Now remember, the first week of the month is going to be non-farm payroll week, so with the NFP protocol, I'm not going to be backtesting Thursday or Friday, but Monday through Wednesday definitely is on the radar. So now taking a glance here, it's set to November 29th on the daily chart here. We're in a precarious spot where I can see price using these SIBIs here to push price down to go for the sell side below the swing low. These equal lows, and back to that weekly volume imbalance. But then on the other hand, with this move down here into this large daily BISI, and we're kind of going away from it now, so we could be using this to bounce price up to reach for a new all-time high. So I can see price going either way. So definitely going into this week, I want to remain neutral, have a neutral bias, and pretty much just play within the range. I won't really be looking for like a big move to the external liquidity. So you can see also the last couple of weeks, we've been kind of consolidating very tight ranges. So definitely want to be a little bit cautious and not try to go for too much. All right, so this is December 2nd, Monday morning, and I am looking at these two SIBIs. Remember, I'm looking for the possibility that these could be inversion. That's why they are in orange, but also they could just play the traditional SIBI roll and push price lower. Now, Monday morning, we've already went above these relative equal highs. So let me go ahead and change this line to a dotted line. So we've already taken out the buy side liquidity, but we do have a little bit higher price right here if we are to continually go up. Now, if I zoom in down to the 15-minute, I also see that we had some tight consolidation here during the Sunday to Monday overnight. So I'm going to mark out, I guess this is fine right here to mark out these relative equal lows. We do have inefficiencies here and here on the 15-minute. So I think going into today, I'm going to favor the downside as long as we don't go for these yet. I want to see price maybe at 8:30 give us some displacement down lower, and then maybe the 9:30 volatility will push us down for these relative equal lows. That's kind of what I'm thinking today. On the upside, I don't think I really want to be bullish unless we start going above this SIBI here on the daily. All right, so 9:30, we had strong reaction to the upside, going back up to the 15-minute. Actually, you know what? Let me go up to the 1 hour. So I'm going to just clean the charts up a little bit, but you can see that we've taken the buy side above this swing high now. Now that we're above all the SIBI here, it really does look to me like we could be bouncing for all-time highs. This would be the next buy side target, and then we also have another buy side target here. I'm considering going long, but keep in mind we do have those relative equal lows down there. I think I've got to see whether or not this fair value gap holds up. If we get a little bit of retracement here and give me a confirmation fair value gap to the upside, I'll go ahead and take a long, aiming for this buy side. As long as this doesn't get taken out, if we do reach there before I get an entry, won't be trading today. However, if we go down below this fair value gap and trade all the way below, let's say the swing low, I'll be looking to go short for that. So it really depends on what the next like 30 minutes to an hour does. Okay, so a little bit after 10 o'clock, we did come back into this fair value gap, but there was no confirmation fair value gaps for me to enter in and on. Maybe, I don't know, it's really small right here, but since we're so close to the target, I wouldn't really want to enter here anyways. But yeah, now that the buy side has been taken, I'm gonna just have to wait and see what we do for the rest of the day. I anticipate us going down for those relative equal lows, but if we don't get displacement to the downside, I probably won't be doing anything today since we've already reached multiple buy side targets. All right, so it's getting close to 11:30, and I do see a fair value gap here. I don't know if I could trust this or not, because since we've already taken all of the buy side, you know, I guess technically this is a confirmation fair value gap, but I wouldn't really want to take this because of the buy side already been taken. However, we do have this buy side. If you zoom out to, let's say, the 20-day, it's going to be this high right here, and then above it we have all-time highs. So yeah, I guess we could go for it, but I am in more favor if we come down to, like, let's say this inefficiency one more time and then create an inversion fair, or then create a confirmation fair value gap. But like I said, it could be very strong, could be very bullish today, and we are going up. Will we hit the target before lunchtime? I guess I could have tried for it. That would have been a nice move right here from 180. So it'll be about like maybe 60-point move or something before, like, you know, my time window is done. But let's take a look at the end of the day. I didn't feel like going for it. It was such a small fair value gap compared to, we didn't reach the buy side target either way. We pretty much came back down into this inefficiency, and now we're just kind of consolidating this area. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to Tuesday morning, and go back up to the 1 hour and see what we get pre-market. So you can see buy side taken there, buy side taken there. So that's why yesterday I was not keen on taking anything long once we've already made this move up. So now that we have consolidation here, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Yes, we could go back down to it, but since we are going back above both of these daily SIPs, remember that's a higher time frame fair value gap. So I'm kind of leaning towards the bullish side, right? I'm thinking that these are used as inversion, pushing price up. We could come back down to this upper one. I don't really want to see it come down to this lower one. But even with this big gap right here, I think that's kind of where I want support to be. So let me go ahead and just highlight this real quick. So just marking out the pre-market sell side, I will put it right there. Buy side, of course, is up here, but I'm going to leave it alone because we have a relative equal highs up here, and of course the all-time high. So I am bullish, but let's go down to a 15-minute. I anticipate us for a sell side sweep, maybe back down into this 1 hour fair value gap, and then I want to start seeing displacement. That will be my ideal setup. So zooming in here, let's go ahead and walk through the price action, and I'll let you guys know if I see anything relevant. Okay, so just before 9:30, we dipped down below that short-term sell side, and we got really close to that 1 hour fair value gap. We don't need to get into it, but I think it'll be better if we do. I want to see us dip into it, and then I want to start seeing this rejection. I want to start seeing a bounce up for the highs. I'm thinking 9:30 will give us the volatility to first go down and then maybe create a fair value gap to the upside. So like I said, okay, it dipped down and it looks like it's potentially creating a fair value gap here. Now I could take this very first one. I'm gonna go ahead and measure out the risk, where I guess technically the risk will be all the way down here, right? So that would be like 40 points of risk. I could have it here to keep it tighter, but it could come down into this wick. So I could also wait and let's see if we have a confirmation fair value gap here. But we'll go ahead and take this just one contract, and I'll just be conservative, have my risk all the way down here. So this will be about 40 points of risk. And let's go ahead and get rid of the sell side. So 174, risk at 134. All right, so as always, no fair value gap. It did get closed in, so I did not get into a trade right here. Just gonna remove that for now, and just kind of wait until I see the next fair value gap in my favor. Now, you want to note that we did go above this fair value gap here. This was post 9:30, but rather large, and I could be using it as inversion. So if we see the very next fair value gap, I'll be okay taking that. So here we are, possible fair value gap here. The candle's not done forming yet, but I'm going to go ahead and set my risk just so you know what I'm thinking of. Think about this fair value gap right here, and if we do get one, I will enter here, and I'll go full size this time. I'm feeling fairly confident that we are now going away from this 1 hour fair value gap. You can see that we've already went above this entire down move starting from 8:30. So going up to the 15-minute, I'm looking for price to go, well, definitely above these highs, basically reaching the all-time highs. And then, you know, I'm actually going to go out to a 4 hour. Perhaps I'll do a projection to see how high we can go from above the all-time high, you know. So The last time I see a sell side sweep on the 4-hour was right here, right? We swept this low, and then I'm going to project this up to the previous swing high, which is right there. And we could have a -1 standard deviation projection. So let me just clean this up. Here's all of the numbers if you guys want to note. So I'm going to pretty much just keep track of -1 and above. And yeah, we can see whether or not that will happen for us. And with this right here, this is going to be what, 12, 10, there's only 22 points of risk, which is really, really nice. So I probably will be able to take maybe 3 contracts here. All right, so yeah, I am able to take 3 contracts. That'll put me slightly above 1% risk. That's completely fine with me. And looking at the upside targets, maybe I want to take off definitely want to take off some contracts here and put it to break even. Maybe aim for the all-time high and then maybe that -1 standard deviation. I think those are all reasonable targets, but let's see if I even get in and if it is going to go my way or not. Okay, so very choppy today. Unfortunately, the fair value gap did not form. Once again, no trade because as you can see, no fair value gap. So just going to keep walking through, waiting for another fair value gap. I would like to see maybe a little bit of pullback and then we create a fair value gap here. I don't really want to see a fair value gap created all the way up here. I mean, yeah, if you for example, if you go from this low to my buy side target, I would like to see a fair value gap somewhere in the lower half of this range, right? Somewhere in discounts, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. I'll just wait until I see what I see. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Remember, from my buy side target, this is the all-time high down to the swing low of the day. We do have a fair value gap somewhere in the middle, but kind of a little bit lower in discount. So I love this one. I want to go ahead and take this one. However, I do see potentially we are forming another fair value gap up here. So if we do form it up here, I want to see the price difference here. So 213, so it'll be 10 more points of risk. I'm going to have my risk at the low of these down candles, just the body, so at the low of the order block here. So 178. It's going to be about 25 points to this one and 35 points to this one. So I'm thinking about 2 contracts should do it. So for example, let's say my risk definitely is going to be 21,178 for sure. If I take, let's say 2113 or 213.25, that's going to put me a little bit over 1% though. It's going to put me a little bit over 1%. I like the 21,203. That's going to give me a little bit less than 1%. We'll see if we could get hit on here, but if this fair value gap does form, maybe I'll go ahead and take 1 contract here and then 1 contract lower if we get down lower. I think that's how I'll split it up. And of course, the risk got to be down there. All right, so 11:15. I don't think that taps me in because if you look here at the low, I mean, I guess this candle's still forming. Let me go ahead and see if it does come down. And it doesn't look like it. If you look at the low here, the low is at 213.5. So 1 tick away from my entry, actually. I'm afraid that this may start running away from me. If it does, I'll go ahead and enter on the next fair value gap and forget the entry down here. But hopefully we'll get a real quick move down here to pick me back up before we go above this high. Okay, so we did go above this high, didn't come pick me up quite yet. I do kind of like how we stopped right before the buy side here. I'm a little unsure on what to do here. You know what? I'll still go for it, but I'm going to lower my size because, you know, I don't really like when buy side gets taken before my entry. So I'll just be conservative. I'll go for this lower one. If it comes down here and pick me up, that'll be great. And I'm only going to go with 1 contract on here. And then, but if we do get some pullback to, let's say, just the upper one and we create another fair value gap, I'll look for the next one to enter in and targeting this all-time high. Okay, so the next couple of candles did get me in. We'll see if this works out. I have a feeling that if we start respecting this CIVI here, it's going to come down and basically stop me out and go below this low of the day. So, I mean, I'll give it a few more minutes or a few more candles. And I'll try to move my stop up to break even as soon as possible. But let's see if we get stopped out here. Looks like it is pulling back up. I don't really like how the Cibi is kind of getting respected. So I do like this bump down, and I think it shouldn't really go lower than this. I think this should be it. So I'm going to go ahead and just move it to break even because I'm not really sure if this Cibi is going to hold up or not. I'm going to go ahead and just put it right above break even, maybe like a couple ticks, you know, just so I can like protect my position. Because if it does come down below my entry, I think it's going to take this out, and I think it's going to go down lower, right? So I'm just going to move it up to break even aggressively. Hopefully we go through this quickly without getting stopped out. Okay, so anyways, it does come down. I'm stopped out, break even pretty much. Let's go ahead and record it real quick. So one contract at that price, one for a stop out at 2104.75. So pretty much just made up like commissions and fees, but yeah, pretty much just break even for now. And you know, I'll leave it here and we'll take a look at the rest of the day, the PM session, to see what happened. Is it going to go for those highs, or is it going to come down to the lows? I kind of bet it's going to go for the lows, but we do get a reversal after sweeping these lows. So if I just kept my stop where it was originally, it would have worked, but I would have had to wait through lunch. I would have had to wait through the PM session. It didn't really start moving till after 4 o'clock, right? Until we started going for all-time highs. So what can I take away from this? Well, once again, I think I just get a little too antsy sometimes and I move my stop too quickly. Once again, I'm moving my stop too quickly. Maybe I should just leave my stop where it is until we hit the very first partial and then get to break even. Well, either way, it is what it is. At least I made out break even. Not like my stop was ever endangered though, so that was a little disappointing. But the move didn't really happen until afternoon, so or overnight. So it's like I had to wait a lot of time through this consolidation. I guess it was okay that I didn't have to actually wait through. Like if I was in a real trade or a live money trade, I would have had to wait through all of this. So anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next day, and it'll be Wednesday. So this will be the last day that I will be back testing. Remember, Thursday, Friday of non-farm payroll. I do not want to trade. I do not want to back test. So looking at the 1 hour, we already made all-time highs. We went past the -1 standard deviation. So now where can we go from here? Well, there is -1.5 here. It's a little hard to see, but -1.5 is there. That could be the next target. On the 1 hour, I'm not really seeing anything obvious to play off of. Maybe this fair value gap down here. We could try playing off of that. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to wait until I see some setup. Maybe wait for 8:30, wait for 9:30. Maybe the market structure needs to develop. All right, so I'm seeing something right now. It's kind of weird. Nothing really happened until about, I guess, pre-9:30. We started going down. We went for the sell side below this low and didn't quite get this one. I think we just kind of trade relative equals. Yeah, it didn't quite get there. But remember, this was a 15-minute fair value gap. So we could be using this one to dip down here. That's kind of ideal for me because then we will have a big sell side sweep. And then after that, I want to see a reversal to the upside. All right, so we don't get that. We get this fair value gap. It's a rather large fair value gap. And now we are trading above all this down move. So this is kind of giving me like a confirmation vibe here. If I see another fair value gap, I'll go ahead and take that. I don't know how high we can get. We can try to aim for the -1.5 standard deviation. But I think if I do get in, I'm just going to get in with one contract and I'm going to aggressively move my stop, just kind of like letting a runner go to see how high it can go. So here is where potentially we could have an entry. So I'll have an entry there with my stop loss down there. And this would be, let's see, from 475 to 444, about 30 points of risk or so. But yeah, just one contract. Let's see if we can get in, and we'll see if we can go for higher. So moving my entry down a little bit because the fair value gap is here. And then we'll see if we can get in here. Okay, so we're in. And as it's running away, I want to aggressively move my stop up. So if I want to see another bounce up here. Okay, it's okay if we come down. I'm trying to be patient and not move my stop too quickly. Kind of looks like I'm going to get stopped out. Give me a bounce, please. Okay, here we are. I'm going to go one more time. All right, so here we are. I have a decision to make because we are at the end of my time window. I see this fair value gap here. Now, if the time was okay, like if we're not during lunch, I would just go ahead and move my stop up to here and then see if we can get another push up for this high. But I think with it being non-farm payroll, lunchtime, we're already all-time highs. You know, we could be due for some retracement. We have relative equal lows down. I'm just going to go ahead and take it off right here. There's a hard stop on a time window. I guess I could have, take it off here above this when I went above this high, but I thought we can go for this negative 1.5 standard deviation, or at least get a little bit closer. But either way, I am out here at 478. So let's see how I did on the spreadsheet. So obviously not a 1-to-1, not even a 0.5 to 1. It's just a 0.34R, which is okay, I guess, but yeah, let's take a look at the end of the day, see whether or not it would have made a new high. Maybe I missed out, but that's my call. I decided to just take it off here. See, if I let it go, it would have came back down to my stop. I would have gotten stopped out, but even though it did run in the end. So a little unfortunate, but I mean, I think I made the right call with just having a hard time stop today. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next. So it did reach that negative 1.5 standard deviation eventually, but that was all the way at like 4 o'clock. Okay. Okay, well, let's go to Thursday and we'll take a look real quick, of course, because I'm not going to be trading Thursday and I'm not going to be trading Friday. So of course the buy side is up here. Sell side, I see the consolidation here, so I'm going to go ahead and mark the sell side down there. All right, so you see the pre-market price action, very, very choppy. All the wicks and candles are pretty much overlapping each other. If you get in, most likely you're going to get stopped out or just have a terrible time. 8:30 didn't do much, and then 9:30 we finally went up for the buy side. Now what's going to happen? Can we go higher, or are we going to come down for the sell side? My bet's going to be the sell side because the day before non-farm payroll usually tends to be pretty choppy, pretty consolidating. So look at the price action. This is I tell you guys so many times, this is why I don't like trading non-farm payroll. NFP, especially the Thursday, is going to look like this. It does eventually come down for the sell side, but look at this choppiness here. It's like if you get in, I don't even know where you would get in, but if you did get in, your stop, in order for your stop to be safe, it has to be here at the high of the day. Either way, we went ahead and took out the sell side. What do I expect from here? Well, I think either sideways, or because we had like this big run here, maybe we go down a little bit more, but I think sideways is more than likely. So, okay, so this is what it looks like the rest of the morning. 11, there was a displacement to the upside, and I guess you could have tried for this for a new all-time high. Of course, I did not really want to trade today. And let's go ahead and take a look at the end of the day. And you can see, even though we had that rally above the all-time high, pretty soon after at 1 o'clock, we went down for a new low of the day and this steady choppiness down towards some more retracement. So yeah, pretty much expected. And this is the reason why I did not want to trade today. Now, one thing about Friday though, I like I said, I don't want to trade Friday either. However, Friday, you can kind of trade it, actually. You can kind of go in, but you have to wait for 8:30. That's 8:30. Who knows what's going to happen? After 8:30, maybe there'll be some setup, but I still wouldn't go too crazy about it. So let's just go ahead and, well, I guess let's go through the price action on the, well, okay, hold on one second. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. On the 15-minute, I'm looking at sell side down here. Buy side, I guess the short-term buy side is here. We do have this fair value gap. I would like to mark this out as well. Do we have it on the 1 hour? If we have something on the 1 hour, I prefer marking it out on the 1 hour. So here we go. Let's go ahead and mark out the CB on the 1 hour. Okay, there we go. So short-term sell side down here, short-term buy side up here. And of course, if we do hit the buy side, we could go up for this 1 hour CB. I guess the short-term sell side will be down here. I'm going to just mark this in, and then we'll jump into the 5-minute right before 8:30. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so we did come down for the sell side real quick. Boom. And then we went from the buy side into that 1 hour fair value gap. So like I said, sell side, if we go for the buy side, we can go off for this 1 hour. Look at where the candle stopped right there. Remember, this all happened in this 5-minute candle, probably all happened in a 1-minute candle. And when it happens that quick, there's no guarantee you're actually going to get executed at the price that you want. So anyways, so that's why I'm pretty much skipping today. We do have this fair value gap. We're in it right now. And yeah, if we can get a confirmation fair value gap, you know, normally I would trade that. But I'm going to skip it today just because it's NFP Friday. So here we go, 9:30. I expect a fair value gap to the upside. And there we go. We are starting to get more displacement. Now, there wasn't really any entry. I mean, I guess you could try it for here, but you know, with the 9:30 volatility, who knows what's going to happen. I called it, but you know, I could have easily been wrong. Now, I want to see price come back down. Now, with this big displacement here, like I want to see price come back down to like this large fair value gap and give me a confirmation fair value gap. This one, I guess, is tradable as well, and you can aim for the -2 standard deviation. But I don't know. It's kind of stretching it. So here, like you could enter. Let me zoom in a bit. So if you enter here, you get 620, and your stop will be here at 530. So about 30 points of risk. And I'm not entering, but I'm just showing you guys maybe like what you can look for if you do decide to trade NFP Friday. And if I do that, I mean, we'll get some consolidation here, and it comes down. I think it stopped me out. Maybe. I mean, no, I did one tick away from my stop, but still very scary. It could have easily gotten my stop like this right here, and then go back out into this fair value gap. So yeah, I like seeing price coming down into this fair value gap. It's a large fair value gap. Now from here, if we make a fair value gap, that would be a higher probability trade than this one down over here. So like right here, you could enter into this fair value gap, have your stop down here. And the reason why I like this is if we came down, swept equal lows, went into an inefficiency. That's always the key signature you want to look for, is when we sweep the lows, are we going into inefficiency and then moving away? Yes, yes, and yes. No bodies here. Remember, note this wick. The wick is just wicking through, right? So it's telling me it wants to move away. Next inefficiency, we can get a quick move in, and then let's see it go up, up, up. But of course, could be wrong, and we go back down for some retracement, and maybe even finish in the middle of the range today. So this is the morning action. By this time, I will be done. So even if I was here, maybe I'll just cut it off here on a hard time stop. And let's take a look at the end of Friday. You can pretty much see that we did go above this high, but not much further. We went above it, and then we started just kind of just went sideways from there. So like I said, after you sweep liquidity, going into an inefficiency and seeing it move away from it, the next fair value gap will be a higher probability trade than, let's say, this one right here, where we didn't get a sweep. We just got a fair value gap here. So that's kind of how you can differentiate between the different fair value gaps and which one you like better. But like I said, NFP Friday, not really interested in trading, so didn't really do anything. But hopefully you got some insight and you learned something anyways. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. And until I see you guys next time, safe trading.